I've been struggling with major FOMO because I am not going to be able to make this upcoming Houston Media Conference. And it's a conference in its third year. I spoke at the last two, and I normally would totally be there. I mean, this is exactly my community and the people that I want to network with and support and be a part of. But it happens to coincide with my youngest moving into college. And this is one of those cases where, life and career kind of collide or diverge or yeah, I don't know. They they create this conflict. And I know people have talked about this in the past. I think Shonda Rhimes had said that, especially as a parent, you always feel like you're missing out because if you're doing something with your kids and focusing on your kids, you're missing out on something for your career. And if you're focusing on something for your career, you're always missing out something with your kids. And this balance as a parent can be very difficult. And it's not just people with kids. It can be, friends, other family members, other community things, other passions that you might have outside of your career. That kind of work-life balance is always difficult. But I've been thinking about this stress that I feel about missing these kinds of opportunities. And in my mind, it always feels like I'm stepping off some kind of conveyor belt, or I've missed the train, or I've missed the bus, and that sure you can always get back on the train or catch another bus, but it always feels like, well, now I'm behind, I'm delayed somehow. And I've been thinking about this metaphor because it's in my life and in, having enough time in this industry, I just don't necessarily think that it's true because, I mean, where is this mythical bus going? I mean, I don't want to get all Snowpiercer and say, oh, well, the goal is to blow up the train, and you think about people on subways that where it's like you're already on the metro and then people are kind of like moving their way up the trains, the compartments. Um, where are we going? What is this supposed end route? I think we sometimes get so focused on the task and the next steps and this is where I need to be and this is what I need to do, and we kind of forget that this is our life, and we need to just live our life, and that a life really should be something that a career is just a part of, that there are other things that fulfill you and those are a part and they kind of weave together into something that feels fulfilled, hopefully by the end of it. And, there are all these things, people talk about setbacks or last year we were talking about the fires in LA. I mean, there can be things like, I've experienced hurricanes, illnesses, children, things that kind of interrupt this career trajectory. But we've all heard stories about athletes who have an injury and then become amazing actors or doctors or, different things. So these setbacks aren't necessarily setbacks. They're just kind of pivot points or things that we need to kind of navigate around. And so I think the mindset when, or that I remind myself when I'm starting to feel that fear of missing out on something, or that I'm gonna lose traction, or I'm gonna miss the bus, or I'm going to have a setback, or I'm gonna lose out on something. I just have to remind myself that it's not it's not a race. This is my life and there are things in my life that are important to me and I need to take care of all of those. And it is a juggling act. And, sometimes I'm not necessarily going to do it perfectly, but it's again, it's not a competition. It's not a race, it's not a competition. And so there will be another conference, there will be other networking opportunities, there will be other things. And that's where, going back and kind of focusing on your own work and what you can do in this moment and the things that you can control that I think ultimately have the most sway. But yeah, it's just a real feeling when you kind of feel like you're missing out on something. But just, focus on the things that you do have. And if you are missing things or you want other things, then focus on how can you get those things, how can you work towards fulfilling those life goals, especially if you're just starting out and it's all very new. It's, the best we can do is to just focus on what you can do and enjoy the ride, enjoy your life. Make sure that you are taking time to enjoy it, because if you're so focused on, where this destination is, you're gonna miss the point of the whole thing.